You're listening to the Manifesting Miracles podcast. By tuning in today, you're dialing into your frequency of abundance. I'm Michelle J. Lamont, your manifestation master and guide. Ever since 2016, I've been obsessively dedicating my life to uncovering, dissecting, and analyzing every aspect of the practices and modalities in which we call manifestation. You see, you are truly more powerful than you can even imagine and fully capable of manifesting miracles on the daily. I'm going to teach you how to attract a life beyond your wildest dreams using your own divine power. So let's get started manifesting your miracles right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for us to understand that this reality is ours to create. We are manifesting manifestors, and this is the podcast that will change your life. My name is Michelle Juanita Lamont, and you're listening to a little show that you and I have created called Manifesting Miracles, and I'm the host, Michelle Juanita Lamont. And in this moment in time, you need the clarity of consciousness to seek the things that you want to manifest. And in this episode, my beloved, I want you to take a moment to start teaching yourself emotionally what the future is before you've decided against the ability for it to exist. And in this moment in time, there are only a few more pages left to write before you start seeing the pages turn into your reality, turn into the landscape, turn into the matrix of this holographic universe we are living in schoolroom Earth. And if this is your first time tuning in, my love, I'm holding a place in my heart for you from now into eternity. Whether I'm on this earth in the body known as Michelle Juanita Lamont, or I'm just a voice echoing into the ether, I know one thing for sure. Your angels and your guides, your collective consciousness, your higher consciousness, your future self, your past self, and every single version that you could ever conceive of being is here in this moment with you and I. You and I are dancing the tango, up and down, sultry, salty, sexy, sinful, but yet also delicate. And in order for us to accelerate our manifestations, there are certain principles that we have to recognize about our own selves. I see it in all the people that I coach, and all the classes that I teach, and all the stages that I'm on, and all the summits that I speak at. And in every reality, there is something, a turning point, a place and time where the dial will move to the right of your future or to the left of your past. But that clarity, the understanding, has to be something that you need to realize. The universe has been waiting for you to understand, because you're your best investment. And until you start making the choice to cash those cosmic paychecks into the spiritual abundance that is yours, you're going to be doomed to repeat the reality that you're currently in and toiling around in a circumstance which is below you and beneath you. And no matter what you think about yourself, well, I'm just some country hick. Red dirt clay. I'm just some poverty person. My mother was a drug addict. My father was an alcoholic. I was abused. I was beaten. I was forgotten. Nobody can accept my sexuality. I don't even understand it. The things that I want to create in this world are things that nobody sees but me. And no matter where you are, no matter what answer you answer when I say these things, there is some little part of your soul that says your ambition will take you to the next level. And every dollar you spend will build a reality into your future. And when I say dollar, I don't mean the earth dollar. I mean the vibration that it takes for you to exert certain energy. It takes the same amount of energy to dream big as it does to dream small, my friend. And you are meant for great things. You did not incarnate all the way here on this little blue marble, hurling through space, defying gravity, to stay small, to stay limited, and to be out of control. And to have the same things happen over and over and over again means that you're stuck in a loop, in a cycle of your own creation. If you're not doing what you love, you are wasting your energy doing it for somebody who's meant for you to be little, to be small, to be forgotten, and not to be seen. And I want to help you determine where you are on that journey today and help you see the way forward, the way out. Because you are your best investment, and energy flows to you in unexpected ways. And when you will do the things that you love, you will prosper. The effort will pay off. You will overcome any obstacles on your journey. I want to take you back in time. Maybe as a kid you wrote in a journal. Maybe you fantasized on your bike as you were driving down the street. Maybe you hid in a closet and closed your eyes and wished that all of the noise would just go away. But the problem is that when you stopped journaling and stopped riding your bike and stopped hiding in the closet, that the world was still there. And the things that you were trying to avoid, you're now avoiding in this life and in this reality. Same you, different timeline. But you were meant for great things, and the effort that you will put into investing in yourself energetically will pay off. Because the universe is built to create extraordinary things, and the universe wants you to know that no one and nothing is holding you back but you. And once you forgive your history, you'll understand that the obstacles and the suffering was all intentional. We don't learn when things are easy, we learn when things are hard. That test becomes your testimony, and you live in a life that you are creating and not surviving. The version of you that is limitless, that is powerful, that is divine, can be found in simple questions. What is it that you want? Why do you want it? And most importantly, and here's the one that really trips us up, who do you have to become to attract it? Because if you were able to manifest things into your reality in the fastest way possible, all of your cylinders would be firing, and it would be coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in. I'm living in Earth year 2023. And you can see the people who are progressing in a way that time is not affecting them. The economy isn't affecting them. Their reality isn't affecting them. The diseases aren't affecting them. They're selling out sold out concerts. They're creating new inventions. They're writing hit books. They're moving into realities. They're marrying the person that they were always desiring. They're having the life that they wanted. Now, you can't judge a life at 3 years old versus a life at 30 versus a life at 90. But energetically, you can dive deep into your reality and understand that it is in the clarity of the consciousness in which you will manifest the things that you want most. But how the fuck do you get there? The other day, I found an old diary of mine. When I moved from Dallas to Florida, I just took all these boxes out of the attic and threw them in the trash without looking at them. If they've been in the attic for 10 years, what the fuck do they need to be in my new life? What boxes from your childhood, from your trauma, from the moments that caused you the most suffering, the most pain, the most sorrow, the most regret, the biggest transactions, or the things that you never actually said and did to the people you wish you had said and did them to? Are you packing in the U-Haul and taking to the new place you're calling your future? And even though I unloaded 5 big old, they have these big, huge trash bins. They're like, I don't know, like 20 feet long and 10 feet high. And I guess I was kind of a pack rat because I filled it up 3 times. But of course, there was another human living in that house with me for some time. Until I divorced him. Attempted to unalive myself. And then was reborn. Not reborn in some religious context, but awakened. Awakened into the spiritual universe, into the spiritual awakening that I was waiting for my entire life. You see, I had achieved quite a lot of success. Even my haters hated how much I succeeded. But I couldn't see it as success because I was still stuck in the orphanage in my mind. I was still stuck in the sexual abuse in my mind. I was still stuck in the pain and the fear and the sorrow. So my brain became programmed to a reality where suffering was just part of my reality. And I said, okay, I guess nothing comes without pain. But that's because that was the only way I knew how to create. We are all a work in progress. And how you respect and honor your human experience is how you will get out of this cycle of patterns of where you're always having the same motherfucking experiences in different situations. And we're all human. And so the fears that we experience are the only things that are holding us back. You are the reason that you're not manifesting the things that you want to manifest. The computer is broken. You have convinced yourself that all the times that you lived in the fear matrix, all the times that in the holographic universe, the lessons that you were trying to learn about yourself were the dreams collapsing upon them. And that every time you wanted to accelerate your ability to manifest, you were trying the law of attraction and it didn't work because you don't believe in it. But what about the clarity of consciousness? What do you want? Answer that question for me right now. Say it out loud. I'm going to give you a minute. What do you want? Why do you want it? And last and most importantly, my love, who do you need to become to be the magnetic attractor of it? You can tell when people are totally in flow, things are just going exactly how they said it would. There was a version of you that picked up a notebook at some point in time or daydreamed on a bicycle or on a swing about the song you would write, about the little kids you would teach in a classroom how to finger paint, about dancing naked in the rain, jumping off a cliff and not having any fear, closing your eyes and just letting it all go. But until you understand why you're not moving forward, you're going to be stuck in the loop. And the loop of your matrix is going to bend and fold at the rate at which you will allow it. And until you understand that the matrix that you're creating in is going to be that loop, you're going to get stuck over and over again. You're going to live in a past where you're either over dramatizing what happened or you're memorializing something way better than it actually was. Maybe you've lost someone. Maybe they died. Maybe they divorced you. Maybe they're in a relationship with somebody else. Maybe it's a pet. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's just a memory. But those loops need to be closed in order for the new loops to be opened. And in an infinite universe that is consistently being proven that it's expanding, the universe is expanding. If the motherfucking universe with 156 billion solar systems are expanding, why aren't you? Maybe it's your amygdala. Maybe it's your frontal cortex. Maybe it's the fact that you're not meditating. Maybe it's the fact that you have allowed somebody else to dictate who and what you will be, and so the fear is greater than the faith. And I get that. But in order for you to accelerate your manifestation, you have to be very fucking clear about where you want to go and who you have to become to have that. You see, the easiest way to manifest things faster and faster and faster into your reality is to use your natural abundance. You become a magnet for the things that you're most natural at. I would never be a mathematician. It's not my natural state of well-being. Can I do math? Absolutely. But am I going to get up on a stage and get a dry erase board and start showing you quantum physics and showing you how to, the speed of light is the fastest speed. I think it's 186 billion somethings a second. And you can't go any faster than that. It's impossible. Einstein tried. To our understanding, it is at this moment in time. But for the manifestations to take place, we have to focus all of our energy 50 to 60% of the time on moving toward the goal. And you may not even realize that you're living in this loop. You may just think the world is really fucking awful. But if you think the world is really fucking awful, that's because you are helping to create the horribleness of the world by allowing your powerful energy to be shifted over to the economy is falling. This is happening. Environmental issues, da 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 da. Now, I'm not saying they're not happening and they're not important, because they are. And we should all be doing everything we can to help the animals, help the planet, become the biggest version of ourselves. Not confining ourselves to being in a reality where we just waste our life spending and toiling in an energy that somebody else created for us. Here, you don't have any abilities and any skills. You do this job. But that's not who you are, my love. If you could only see yourself immediately after you died, like all the people who have those near-death experiences, similar to the one that I had when I attempted to unalive myself. When I realized in those moments afterwards and days and weeks that I had to move forward, it was really fucking hard. I had determined that everything was going to be over, but it doesn't work that way. You're going to reincarnate into the same ideologies and the same different patterns and the same frustrations as you have now. So how do you move into a new vibrational universe? Well, the first thing you have to understand is, how do you feel about yourself? And if you just answered shitty, it's okay. Because at least you're being honest. I'm not proud of everything I do. I'm not even proud of shit I did 2 days ago. But I learn from those situations and I say, okay, what could I do to not repeat that cycle again? I'll do shadow work. I'll do something called the conscious effect. There's a little exercise I teach people when they're in a loop. Let's do it. You get out a piece of paper and a pen, and you close your eyes, and you breathe in and you breathe out 5 times. And then when you open your eyes, you're going to write down everything in the room that's red. As fast as you can and as much as you can, give yourself 60 seconds. The red candle, the red plate, the red crystal, the red bow tie, the red cup, the red coffee holder, the red pot holder, the red on my chakra chart, the red on the top of my water bottle, the red bottle. And you do this for about 60 to 90 seconds, and you just keep pointing out everything red in the room. The red in the painting, the red in the shirt that my mother's wearing in that photo over there on my family altar. And you just keep going and going and going until you see the 90 seconds. Then you stop, and you set the alarm for 30 seconds. And you move into a different room, and you write down everything in the room that was green. You see, you spent the whole 90 seconds just focusing in on one thing. Over and over again, you could keep naming them. But then, after 30 seconds, to try to recall everything that's green in the room, there's no way the list is as long. But I bet there's just as many green items. You see, what we focus on, we attract. And if we're consistently focusing in on a history that has already taught us all the lessons it's going to take. You could write 50 fucking country songs to all the lessons and all the heartbreaks and all the tears that you've shed. And then there's the other problem. You're daydreaming in the future. In the future, this will happen. And in the future, this will happen. And in my matrix, this will happen. And if I just say it the right way and I write it down 3 times a day, 3 sentences, 6 times a day, 90 days, 369, whatever different ideology, method, book you're reading right now. You're then living in a future, and that's also an illusion. But in the clarity of your consciousness, in this moment right now, what you focus in on, you attract. And so you could take big, huge rubbish containers, 20, 50 feet long, and take all that history and throw them in those bins today, and take all the things that you say in the future are going to happen, throw them in the bin today, and say, who are you in this moment right now? How are you attracting the things in your life right now? By asking yourself 3 questions. What do I want? And really understanding what is it that you want. If you say I want $1 million, you're ridiculous. Because then you're only in the pursuit of more and more and more, and there's never going to be enough of that. But if you say I really want to be happy, then we got something to work with. But why do you want to be happy? Because if I was happy, then everything would be working out. Well, why would everything be working out? Because I would be living in a consciousness where everything was attracting, everything in my reality that I was attracting were good and positive and happy. Well, why are things good and positive and happy when you're attracting them? Because when I'm attracting everything that's good and happy and wonderful, I feel good. Well, why do you feel good? Because I feel good. And when I feel good, I feel positive about myself. I feel like I want to take steps. I want to take action. I want to move forward. I don't want to sit around and be drunk or be high or watch TikTok all day. Or be suppressed in a Netflix series all day and watching all these other people who stepped out of their little cubby holes and got in front of a camera and did something. But But why do you want it? Because I want to be happy. And when you can start asking these questions, what do you want? Why do you want it? And who do you need to become to get that happiness? You start having that clarity. You start understanding that in a vibrational universe, all of the laws of the universe are simple. Work on yourself. Accept that we're not perfect, but you are enough. And then start working on everything that breaks you down, your insecurities, your ego, your dark thoughts. And you will start to understand that in the end, you're making yourself happy. You're living in a universe that is happy. It is simple. It is pure. It is intentional. I remember a moment where I had a picnic with my mom. And she said, Michelita, help me set up all the little plates. And she had me bring my dollies. And we put a little blanket down in the backyard. And my brothers kept knocking on the door. And my mother said, if you come outside, you're going to be grounded. And we sat in the grass. And she would braid my hair every day and add little ribbons in it. And every year on my birthday, she would hand make me a dress. Because she wanted me to know that love were through actions and not words. And she would show me all the material. Blue velvet one, a red strawberry one, a yellow sunflower one, an orange checkered one, a turquoise blue one, with little bitty blue flowers and white lace. And we went out into the backyard and we set up our little picnic, and the dollies had their plates and their teacups and the tea filled with imaginary drink in it. And then she put out a pretty little glass for me and a little plate for herself, and she brought the fruits out. And I remember looking up at her as her hair was just flowing and the sun was hitting it. And I remember how she was setting everything up and I was helping her. And I had no idea that I was in paradise. I had no idea that holding her hand was holding the eternal love inside of me. And so I could reminisce on the picnic, or I could remember the woman, what she wanted for me, what she knew about me, what she loved about me. And maybe you didn't have a relationship with your mom or your father. Maybe you never even knew him. Or maybe you had the greatest parents and you're still in contact with them and you love them so, so much, but you're still suffering. And all of it's okay. But in order for us to manifest a reality in which we are living the highest and the best version of ourselves, we are going to have to understand what we want, why we want it, and who we have to become to create it. Clarity is power. And when you understand what it is you want, the universe can focus all of its attention and all of its direction, and all of your actions become very fucking intentional. And this is the key to manifesting. The clearer we become, the more we understand, the more we direct our energy towards a singular idea. Happiness, joy, love. The less we're stuck in a reality that is already broken. Wanting the money doesn't bring the happiness. Wanting to win the lottery doesn't bring the winnings. You're still stuck with you. You'll have the same problems, and then there won't be enough money to solve them. That's why all the people who win the lottery lose all the money. And when you're focusing in on everything that's red in the room, you miss everything that's green. So when you're focusing in on your past or your future, as opposed to fixing and working in the reality that you have right now, you are in a cycle. You are in a cycle, in a time loop, and therefore the universe just keeps manifesting the same thing over and over and over and over, because you're the one that's directing traffic. You're not actually having any self-reflection. You're not actually doing any intellectual growth. You're not actually understanding that there's a consciousness to this collective. And once you understand the clarity of that situation, you can then get out of the comfort zone and work on what you have to become to manifest it. You have to understand that everything is an illusion until you break that cycle. And then you move into a new reality, and then to another reality. And as you start to filter out these thoughts, and as you start to filter out the way that you're creating, you start to take intuitive guides into the consciousness of creating. And your manifestations literally happen almost instantaneous. And I want you to know how powerful you are. And I want you to know that I love you. And I want you to know that it's going to be okay. And I want you to know that I'm right here with you. And I really want you to invest in yourself by taking a risk and breaking the loop. And if you don't know how to do it, you can start with one of my digital classes. You can take all 3 of my digital classes for $199 and spend the next month working on that clarity. You could book a free 15-minute session with me. I'm now doing half-hour Zoom sessions and hour Zoom sessions. I also offer coaching. When I'm not on a wait list, you can sign up for 6 weeks to success. And in 6 weeks, we can dive deep and figure out what you want, why you want it, and who we have to become to get it. If you go to my website, michellejlamont.com, you are going to see pages and pages and pages of heartfelt testimonies from people who have stepped out of their fear and into their new now reality to break that and work on themselves and accept that they're not perfect, but that they're enough. And then they can start working on everything else to be the magnet of what they want. You don't have to get $1 million to get that. And then multiple times a year, I have live group courses. And right now, I don't know what the date is or when you're going to hear this, but it's 2023. And I have a masterclass and a boot camp, and that's it for this year. And there are payment plans and options. And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're ready to quit that job, if you're ready to work on yourself, if you're ready to move forward and accelerate your manifestation and find the hidden secrets that you knew about yourself were always there, I want to help you. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear and your dark thoughts will end and you'll make peace with yourself. And that I know for sure. And we're out of time. Oh my gosh. Okay. So listen up, my beloved, my manifesting manifestors. You are everything you need to be. You are every version of yourself you need to be. You are known. You are appreciated. You are loved. And if no one has ever told you this, I see you. You're enough. I don't care if you've been addicted to something your whole life. You can get addicted to being you. You're just going to switch gears and focus in on you. If you've been in bad relationship after bad relationship, we're going to switch that too. We're going to figure out how to create self-love instead of self-loathing. I could pour into you all day, and I will. You know how? Because you're going to go and listen to another episode of Manifesting Miracles, and another episode of Manifesting Miracles, and another one, and another one, and another one. Maybe you're going to listen to this one 10, 20, 30 times until it all sinks in. Maybe you're going to sit down and do the exercises that I mentioned. Maybe you're going to meditate. But most importantly, you're going to work on yourself. You're going to accept that we're not perfect, but that we're enough. And that the universe is conspiring in your desires, and this is a holographic universe, and the matrix in which we're living in can always be changed by our thoughts, our intentions, and our reality. The reality that we're creating in, not all the things that we're missing out on by living in the red, in the history, or a diluted future. Because there isn't a future and there isn't a history. There is only right now. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the vibration where you know that you can manifest anything into your reality. I love you. Now let's do our closing. 1, 2, 3. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything. Faster. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for us. Everything. Until the next time you hit play, I'll be here waiting. I love you. You're known. Now, producers, cue that motherfucker music. Thanks for listening to this episode of Manifesting Miracles. Now it's time for you to take action. I invite you to hang out with me just a little bit more by signing up for my newsletter. You'll get instant exclusive access to the practices that will chart your own path to abundance. And yes, spark that highest version of you. Head to the show notes right now so you don't miss a thing. Now listen, I fucking believe in you. And it's now time for you to win. Yes!